All right, welcome everybody to Heart Place Hospital, a Power Hour with Dr. Gail Pearson. So at Heart Place Hospital, we believe in empowering our community with knowledge that supports healing of the mind, body and soul. And as part of our mission to offer innovative heart-led education and wellness experiences, we are thrilled to welcome you, Dr. Gail Pearson, a New Zealand anaesthetist and specialist in nutrigenomics and natural health for a transformative power hour focused on expanding our health span. So this isn't just about adding years to our life, it's about adding life to our years. So join us to explore how nutrition, lifestyle and gene expression work together to help us live with energy, purpose and vitality at every stage. Take it away, Gail.
Thanks, Jackie, and welcome everybody. And as Jackie said, this is all about how to extend your lifespan as well as your health span. You know, it's all very well living a long life, but if you're unwell for the last 20 years, it's not going to be any good, is it? You know, currently in New Zealand, the life expectancy of a woman is about 82 or 83. Now, your health span on average is 63. Do you know what that means? That means on average for 20 years, most people, or on average people, are going to have problems either with medications, medical conditions, and they are going to be impeded on how they want to live their lives. So it is all about adding life to your years and not years to your life. So, you know, aging's inevitable, but we can change that. We can change not being unhealthy. So let's look at what's changed. I want to look at lifestyle, environment, and genetics. Our lifestyle is just not the same as it used to be. You know, we have sedentary lifestyles. We sit behind computers all day. We're in front of screens. We're not moving. We have all sorts of machines to do the work for us, you know, in terms of washing machines, dishwashing machines. We don't do things. We don't move anymore. We are exposed to lots of things in our environment that were never, ever here before. EMF. We have bad water that additives have been added into. We have things that have just never existed. And what's more, our food is not nutritious anymore. Why is that? The soil. The soil is depleted of nutrients. And so unless you grow your own organic food and you know exactly where it's come from, that it hasn't been inundated with pesticides or herbicides, you will find that most of our food is not nutritious and it's not providing us with the nutrition that we need for our bodies to function optimally. Getting outside in the sun, you know, we're told about put on sunblock, don't get the sun. Well, you know, the sun's actually really important for vitamin D, and vitamin D is one of our biggest key vitamins for our immune system. Can we do anything about our genetics? Well, a lot of people will say, can't do it, it's with my genes, but I'm going to show you something different today about how we can actually modify our blueprint of what we've been given. So what can we control? Okay, well, let's have a look what's personally controlled, what you can do every single day to control your health. Number one, healthy diet. That means things that don't have preservatives, don't have additives in them, that are possibly organic, that don't have herbicides or pesticides. Exercise, and I'm not talking about exercise in terms of running marathons or going to the gym every day. I'm talking about movement. I'm talking about getting up every hour when you're sitting at the computer, doing stretches, doing a little bit of yoga, making sure that your body is moving in all sorts of directions. Sleep. Now, sleep is one of the things that a lot of people take for granted, but sleep is where we do the major times where the body regenerates and rejuvenates. And so if we don't give the body that ability to be able to rejuvenate, we are actually giving the body time to heal. We've also got to reduce the toxic load which we're exposed to every single day, be that things that we put on our skin, things that we ingest, cleaning products. If you have a look at some of the things we use, a lot of them have letters and numbers. They're all poisons to our body. Do you know that? They are additives, they're preservatives, they're artificial substances that our body is not used to coping with, and they build up. If you put a skin lotion on, for example, within 30 seconds, that's absorbed by your skin. What happens? It goes to the liver, and the liver has to detoxify that. We're getting overload of our detoxification systems. How can we control our environment? Well, as I said before, sunlight is very, very important for our vitamin D manufacture. Fresh air, no pollution, clean water. Do you know where your water's come from? Do you know what's been added to your water? When you turn on that tap, what's in those pipes? What's in the reservoir that the water's come from? Water is really, really vital to us because bodies are made of nearly 80% water. Also, reducing our EMF exposure. I mean, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, it's a sign of the times. We have to live with that, but we've got to reduce that as much as we can. That includes things like not having it close to your bed at nighttime, turning off your modems at night, making sure that you don't have your phone up to your ear the whole time, that you use it on speaker if you're going to be using a phone regularly. I mean, we've got to cope with the modern day lifestyle, but we've got to have different solutions. Now, what I want to talk about today is things that are genetically controllable. And this is a science called nutrigenomics. It's nutrition affecting your genome. It's working through cell signaling pathways. Now, if you think of the genes, they're just little building blocks that make up your DNA, and your DNA is your blueprint. It's sort of like a print or a plan for a house. And if you have a builder that decides to modify things, you know that that blueprint can be modified. Well, it's the same for your genes. The blueprint is what you've been given, but we can express those genes differently by up to 90%. So that means that you are not the product of your genes. You can actually get over that by all of the things that I've been mentioning with lifestyle, with environment. And now this is the icing on the cake, because this is all about how we can control our genes. And so I want to go through actually 5 different ways that we age, because the body is very complicated. It has a lot of different processes. One of the big things that we see as we age is oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress is just oxygen-free radicals damaging cells and causing aging. Mitochondrial decline. Mitochondria are the little beans within the cells, and what they do is they provide all the energy, or the ATP, which is the currency of energy within our cells. As we age, they don't work as well, they don't connect as well, and they are less in numbers. So we've got to actually get to mitochondrial decline as well. NAD, which is the longevity gene, that also declines sharply. Now, these aren't when you get to 50s and 60s. These processes actually start when you're about 30. So you can get away with a lot of things in your 20s, but by the time you get to the late 30s and early 40s, your body is really starting to tell you that it's starting to age. Collagen. That's a biggie that starts to decline after about 30, when you'll see people start to get a few wrinkles. That's because the base of your skin is getting saggier and the collagen is decreasing. And new, and absolutely new, what we're looking at now is GLP-1 decline. So I'm going to show you how we can activate dormant genes, how we can reboot the body, how we can basically just do a reboot of our whole body system with nutrition. But it has to be nutrition that has got great scientific validation and to show us exactly what those scientific pathways are. It's all about taking something to make it. So we're empowering our bodies to make antioxidants, to make proteins, to make enzymes, and everything that you need for better health. We're taking it to making it. We're taking nutrients to make the things that the body is already used to making. It's got the ability. All we're doing is saying, wake up, you need to start working like you did when you were younger. It's a reboot of the body. So I'm going to be talking about a few products, and I came into this in 2019 and actually brought these products into New Zealand because I felt that we really needed to be on these. You know, our toxic environment is getting worse and worse, and we need different solutions. So I'm going to be talking about Protandim NRF2, which has been around since 2003. There have been millions and millions of tablets that have been consumed. It's run around the track. It's got independent published studies, which are product specific, not ingredient specific, product specific, over 30 of them, and they've all been published. NRF1, which is the mitochondria that I was talking about, NAD, which is the NAD longevity genes, collagen, and the GLP-1. I'm going to be concentrating on those ones today. And as I said, it's a whole different way of approaching it. Yes, good food is good, Yes, a good environment is good, but we need more because of the environment that we're exposed to. So we want to reduce the damage to our cells naturally, and we're going to do that primarily with protandim NRF2 to decrease oxidative stress. As I said before, oxidative stress means aging. It's oxygen-free radicals that go around your body and they damage cells. This product fights oxidative stress, and the study showed that it reduced oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. The really important thing that I found when I looked at one of these papers is it increases glutathione, which is a master antioxidant enzyme which you produce in your cells, by 300% in 3 months. So if you are making your own antioxidants, so this is not about taking, this is making antioxidants in every single cell of your body. Can you imagine how powerful that is? It's huge. And it's natural. It's made of ingredients that we know. Turmeric, great antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Milk thistle, great for liver cleansing. Ashwagandha and bacopa, they're Ayurvedic herbs for mental clarity, hormonal balance, and also green tea, which is a great antioxidant. But what they did is they put these 5 ingredients together, and they are what we call synergistic. So they work at a specific genetic pathway called the NRF2 pathway, and that makes antioxidants in every single cell of your body, as well as stimulates 250 other genes. But we're just going to have a look at the antioxidant ones today. The guy who put this together actually found that NRF2 pathway. He found the antioxidant enzymes that you produce in every cell. He found an antioxidant enzyme called superoxide dismutase. I mean, you've probably never heard of that, and I never had as well. So he found the enzyme. He said, how am I going to stimulate this enzyme? Then he found the NRF2 pathway. And then he said, hang on a minute. How can I stimulate that NRF2 pathway naturally? And this is where it came up. They are not big ingredients. They're not great amounts. I've had a lot of people who say, well, I'm just going to go and I'm going to go on all of these products and that'll be okay. It doesn't work that way. It's the synergy. It's the amount specifically of each of these ingredients that's important. So when we look at protandim NRF2 versus food, protandim will do tons of antioxidants per tablet, whereas food will neutralize 1 free radical. So, I mean, you get nerds out there, they said something like you have the equivalent of 9 punnets of blueberries a day to get the same response, huge numbers of oranges or vitamin C. So you're actually producing your own antioxidants. The power of this is immense, and we certainly have seen that clinically as well. So as I said, it produces antioxidants to maintain cellular health. It reduces free radicals in the body and stops that free radical damage to the body's cells. I talked about the mitochondria, the energy bunnies within the cell. There's an NRF1 pathway which works at the mitochondria, and it's got alpha lipoic acid, grape extract, quercetin, acetyl L-carnitine, and CoQ10. All of these products you've probably heard of before, but put together in a combination that stimulates this specific genetic pathway that actually works at the mitochondria. And so what does it do? It increases what we call mitochondrial biogenesis, which means you get more, they connect better, and they work better. So it also reduces free radicals formed in the body. So what do we get? We get more energy. And then the third one I was talking about is protandim NAD. This has got olives, copper and niacin, wasabi, and theacrine in it, put together again in a combination that stimulates a family of proteins called the sirtuin pathways. So we are not supplementing here, we're activating. Supplementing is when you're deficient in something and you just give it because you haven't got enough. What this is doing is actually stimulating specific genetic pathways so that you can make your own proteins, that you can make your antioxidants, that you can make the things responsible for good health. And so the interesting thing about this protandim NAD is the longevity genes. And there's a lot of research that's been done on NAD in terms of stem cell production from the bone marrow, and also on telomere lengthening, all which are longevities. It also reduces free radicals formed within the body. And as I said, it works via a pathway called the sirtuin pathway. So when you put these three products together, and this is what I love because I'm a scientist and I need to see validation, they will even give you the specific genes that are increased with these three products when you take the three products together. So if we look on the left, the antioxidant detoxification gene on our first one, when you take all three, is increased by 83%. The inflammatory response is increased by 1,500%. Similarly, with the mitochondrial genes, the middle graphs, that's hugely increased. And then the NAD genes are absolutely out of the sky increased. So this is what we call the tri-synergizer. So each of the products are great, but when you put them together, they work what we call synergistically, so that they enhance the function of all of the other ones. So they're synergistic products. They are not supplements. They are activators, activating specific genetic pathways. And this is an example of some of those gene pathways. So if we can activate gene pathways in terms of antioxidants, in terms of NAD, in terms of the mitochondria, can we do it to collagen? And the answer is yes, we can. This is the only collagen on the market that actually activates collagen production. Most other collagens will replenish. This one actually activates the genes that produce collagen. And not only does that, but it decreases the genes responsible for collagen breakdown. And collagen is not just in the skin. We see it in hair, we see it in muscles and joints. And interestingly, when I started this journey on collagen, the first thing I noticed was my skin, and I'll show you a few photos shortly. But then I saw my hair was stronger, was thicker. My hairdresser said, "What's going on?" My gut had never been as good after about 3 months, but by 6 months, my joint had never, ever been as good. I've had bad knees for absolute years. I do a lot of tramping. I've just walked a 3-day trek, and it took me very little to recover. And everyone said, "What are you doing? You just blasted up that hill like a mountain goat." So I can see my tramping has improved, even though I've aged. I did the same tramp last year as I did 13 years ago, and I was better this time. And it's all down to the NRF2 and the collagen. So I just want to show you a few photos here. On the left is before I started collagen. I know that this is on my birthday, quite a few little wrinkles. You can see the wrinkles within the, around the eyes and down in the neck. By about 2 months, I had seen a sort of a glow. I don't wear makeup, so I had seen something different. And every time I walked past a mirror, I thought, that's different. What's going on here? And within 5 months, I really noticed that I felt I was glowing from the inside out. And then by 7 months on the far right, I just felt I had gone backwards in age, and it's improving more and more and more. And in fact, when I look at photos of me when I'm younger, I do feel I'm aging backwards, product of the products. So when you put the two of these together, when you put the Protandim NRF2, making your own antioxidants, as well as stimulating huge numbers of other enzymes and proteins and genes, put that with the liquid collagen, you get the decrease in a stress response. You get a higher immune system. So your body doesn't go into fight or flight any longer. So the cellular stress level goes down. You find that your hormones are balanced. And I've used this primarily in menopause because I've found that what this does is it stops those menopausal symptoms, because what it's doing is it's damping down that inflammatory response. It's damping down the immune response. It's damping down the stress response. And I want to show you someone. This is Lainey from Gold Coast over in Australia. This is her results after 1 month. And you can see that she's starting to glow. She just looks fuller. The wrinkles have gone. Look around her face, look around her eyes. She felt amazing. And not only just looking, she said to me, my goodness, my hot flushes have gone. I'm sleeping better at night. All my hormones seem to be rebalancing. And, she was in her late 40s now. And so she really needed something extra. On top of eating healthy, she exercises. She needed that extra little bit, which is what these products are doing for her. So in terms of the modern lifestyle, what are we seeing? We are seeing this big epidemic of obesity. Now, New Zealand has got the third highest adult obesity rate. We've got 46% are trying to lose weight, 28% are trying to maintain the weight. 3 out of 5 people are experiencing low energy, exhaustion, brain fog. They can't get through the day. We have to do something differently. These are people who do live a healthy life and they just can't cope any longer. We need to start looking at this in a different way. So I want to talk a little bit more about GLP-1. Now, it's actually a hormone that we produce within specialized cells within our gut called L cells within our gut. And every time that we eat, it's released. And as it's released, it gives the brain signals to say, hey, I'm full now. I don't need any more. You can stop eating now. So it also releases insulin and modulates our glucose levels. And initially, the GLP-1 agonist, which pharma brought out, was brought out for diabetes because they found that it modulated your glucose levels. But a side effect of that was weight loss. And so they said, oh, hang on a minute, we might use this for weight loss. And that's where that's come about. But they are synthetic, and I'm going to show you something naturally. But first of all, GLP-1 is not just for weight loss. As I said, it decreases the emptying from the stomach or makes for a slower gastric emptying. It also protects the brain. The gut-brain axis is having more and more research on these days. We know that the gut is our second brain. And when you can get a healthy gut, what you're doing is you're providing the neurotransmitters. You're providing the mood-elevating hormones that actually go to your brain. It's neuroprotective. It's also cardioprotective. And also with a natural GLP-1, what you're getting is increased glucose uptake in the muscle. It's everywhere. The receptors all over the body. And so this is a natural weight loss or management system. It turns down the food noise. It burns visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that's around your organs that you can't see. And I've seen so many people who have no external fat, and yet they're fatty on the inside. Primarily when I've done gallbladder operations, the incidence of fatty liver has just gone through the roof. And my understanding for this is because the liver is the major organ of detoxification, and we have overloaded it. So what does it do when it's overloaded? It turns everything to fat, and it can't cope with that anymore. So we've got to be able to heal that liver. And we can do that by activating the GLP-1. I want to show you Jeanette. Now, Jeanette Wilson, who some of you may well know, is from Auckland. She goes to the UK a lot. She took these photos in November 24. She said they never are going to see the light of day. But when she started to go on the GLP-1 and looked at her new photos in 2025, so what's that? That's 3 months. She couldn't believe the difference. She's fitting into clothes that she didn't fit anytime during her adult life. She was fitting into clothes before she had children. Now, people might say, oh, well, she's sucking in her tummy. But if you look at her back fat, you can't actually suck in back fat. If you want to have any personal recommendations for that, she's more than happy to chat to anybody. These are real people. So what are we doing? We're taking away that emotional relationship for food. You know, we eat so often for stress. We eat so often if we're bored. We've got to stop that toxic cycle of emotional eating and yo-yo diets, losing weight and then putting it back on, losing more and putting it back on. This is taking back control because you are using your body to actually do the work. And what's more, there is no muscle loss associated with this. This is Liko from Oamaru. Again, look at the results that she had. She's lost, I think, 20 kgs. And again, she's absolutely delighted. These people are really, they're putting it out there in terms of their body shapes. What I found was that people are now starting to feel more confident. They're wanting to exercise. They're wanting to eat healthy. And the cravings for bad food have just gone completely. It's changed their whole mental attitude towards food. We did a study, and, you know, that's what I'm here for. I love the studies. And if you look at what the results are here, 82% took back control of relationship with food. 95% had reduced sugar cravings. 96% chose smaller portions. 85% felt less hungry. They're not looking for when the next meal is coming and planning it. 90% ate less at meals. And 85% were eating for health instead of emotions. Now, for women, that's a biggie. Not eating for emotion, eating for health. This lady's a Scottish lady, Charlene, and she was just on a recent Zoom with me. She said on the November 1st, she was actually embarrassed to take that photo. She's actually was She had to go into a wheelchair because she couldn't actually move. Her body had really packed up on her. But in 4 months, she's lost 20 kgs. She can now fit into a pair of jeans. She's got a wee way to go, but she is delighted. And what she's found is that she actually feels better within herself. She's got mental clarity, sleeping the best she ever has, no brain fog, and is choosing healthy. But that's because she wants to. This is Candice from Australia. She didn't have a lot of weight to lose, but what she's found is that she has gained more mental energy. She's become a better attitude towards food and feels more confident. She is just brimming with energy now. So the energy is just, she's a physiotherapist, and she said she runs through the day now. It's also for men as well. This is Tyler from the USA, who's got a nice round keg there. He lost 11 kgs in 12 weeks. I mean, he still has got a bit to lose, but he certainly noticed a huge difference with that. So let's just have a look at what happens when we have cellularly, what happens with weight gain, what happens at the cellular level. Well, when you have oxidative stress, what does that do? It downregulates all the metabolic processes. So all of the hormones that are responsible for increasing your metabolism are dampened down. These are thyroid hormones. These are sex hormones. These are your cortisol levels. They are all dampened down so that you have no worry about, well, you can't actually increase your metabolism because it's been downregulated with oxidative stress. So what happens? All your hormones go out of whack, out of imbalance. And this is incredibly important when you get around that time of perimenopause, which is why we get so many perimenopausal symptoms. And what does that hormonal imbalance do? Weight gain. And we get into that vicious cycle. So what does more weight gain do? It gives you more oxidative stress, more hormonal imbalance, more weight gain. How can we stop that vicious cycle? Well, we talked about reducing oxidative stress with protandim NRF2. So what will that do? That'll help us hormonal rebalance. And if we add in the liquid collagen and the GLP-1 system, we stop the weight gain. We stop that vicious cycle. We can control what our body is doing. We can rebalance our hormones like never before. And we have to do this. When they put the NRF2 and the mind body together, or the GLP-1 together, it activated 4 more antioxidant pathways. It activated 9 fatty acid metabolism pathways and upregulated 22 more genes. So when we can get products that come down to the gene level, we can see exactly what they're doing. This is the way of the future. This is nutrigenomics, nutrition affecting our genome with natural products. So what do we get? We're controlling our appetite. We're getting a much better, efficient metabolism. We're burning our calories much, much better. We're balancing our blood sugars. We're managing our weight. We're improving our mood and focus. And our energy is steady, not up and down like a yo-yo. And that gives us sustained wellness. So in summary, I want to say lifestyle, yes, you are what you eat. Environment, yes, you're a product of what you expose your body to. And that includes mental health as well. That includes having good friendships, good connections, getting out outside, having fun, being mindful. And genetics, you're a product of your gene expression, not your gene blueprint. And in summary, I want you to have a look at Rita. Now, Rita, I did a recent presentation with her in Wanganui. That's her on the left about 4 years ago, and that's her about a year or so ago. I just pulled up one of her Facebook posts from last year. Even though I'm in my late 60s, I don't think I'm old, and I still try and do things I was doing 20 years ago. But this time last year, I was buggered, had no energy, had a few medical ailments. I've been watching someone on Facebook for a while going on about these products. Maybe they could do wonders for tired, sick people. I thought, that's me. I'll get in touch with her. And so to this day, she's been swallowing the pills, drinking the energy drink and collagen, using the skincare hair products. I don't feel 100% great, but I reckon I feel 75% better, and I'm waiting for our new product to arrive so I can work on that other 25%. And I have great pleasure in telling you that she has been on the GLP-1 for over 3 months. She's lost something like 4 kgs. She is sleeping like a baby. And if I had a current photo of her, she looks younger and younger every single time that I look at her. So as I said, this is all about activation. And LifeVantage is the activation company. All of their products activate your body, and bodies have the most incredible capacity to heal themselves. We're just giving them the support that they need. So we want to age well. We want to maximize our health span, and we want to activate our life. And I've found products that will do this. And if you want to get on and these products, just get back in touch with Jackie, and she'll tell you that now is the time to get started with activation. Time was yesterday. Let's get going. Thank you.